like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Falcon. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL. When things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the show. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's happening, fam? Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you being in on this episode of the stream, man. This one entitled Saints Wednesday Wrap Up, man. Listen. A lot of stuff happened today, man. We're going to jump right off into it. The injury report, we're going to cover that. We're going to go over a few news, notes, and items, and we're going to listen to a couple of interviews. Derek Carr and Mickey Loomis is one that he did one today. We're going to try to go through some of that one today as well and react to that. Get my little 2 cents in there to, my thoughts on what we heard today. So let's jump right off into it. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Much love to you. Appreciate all you fantastic people out there. Good to see everybody in the building. What's up, brother Donnie? Shout out to you, man. Good to see you in the building, man. Says, yo, Q, be sure to check what MT retweeted after you check out. Okay. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. L-Dub, shout out to you. Quavatus, shout out to you. Brother Michael, how you doing, sir? Tragic. Pops TG in the building. Shout out to you, fam. Brent, what's happening, Brent? Iceman in the building. What's up, Iceman? How you doing? Shout out to the Queens. How you doing, Antoinette? Much love. Atchban, how you doing, fam? Avis, OG to the 3rd degree. Shout out to you, brother Arvin. All right, G Fly, how you doing, fam? Appreciate you. Much love to all the fam. JD, how you doing, fam? Pelicans, Nola, Travis, Josh. Shout out to everybody, man. Good to see y'all. Appreciate you, brother Judah. I see you, fam. Elwood and Jeremy, much love. Appreciate you. Seth, I see you, fam. Much love. Elites also in the building. Teresa, how you doing? Appreciate you as well. So big ups to the fam, man. Thank y'all for being here. How you doing, Colorado? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. G, much love, fam. Appreciate you. Brother Malcolm in this thing. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. What's up, Ray? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you as well. What's up, Vilma? Shout out to you, man. How you doing, bro? All right, man. And then, of course, Mark's in the building as well. Much love to everybody, man. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Molly Mall, how you doing, fam? Molly says, Q, Dennis will make the team look like fools again on Sunday. So, man, we're going to talk about it today, bro. Let's hop right on into it, man. The injury report, and this is one we was waiting for this upcoming week, man, because it's a lot of stuff that the Saints went through in this last loss, man. Not only did we are now on a 2-game slide, but the Saints lost 2 of their starting wide receivers. They got banged up. Chris Olave with a concussion. Rashid Shaheed had a thigh issue. Cam had some type of ankle issue. The Saints got really banged up in this matchup, and the injury report kind of touches on it. 10 New Orleans Saints players listed on the injury report in this thing. Cam Jordan with an ankle, did not practice. Marcus May had a shoulder issue, did not practice. Kendre Miller, who's been dealing with injuries off and on, dealing with the ankle, he was also shut down. Rashid Shaheed with a thigh issue, he was shut down today. Pete Werner had a shoulder, an oblique situation, he was DNP today. And of course, Jimmy Graham was who had a not injury-related rest date, was limited. So Jimmy Graham had a limited practice, despite the fact that Jimmy Graham hasn't played and over a month for the Saints. The Saints have had him on a healthy scratch situation, which made no sense. He should have been activated this past game with Michael Thomas out, but the Saints do whatever the Saints want to that they do. That don't bring it in. If it's not going to be successful, the Saints go and do it. They do it. Blake Grupe, who kicked a bunch of field goals for the Saints last week, he got a groin issue. The kid kicked himself into an injury. He's limited. Eric McCoy dealing with a shoulder. He's limited. Chris Olave's under concussion protocol. As we know, Ramczyk, NIR, not injury related, dealing with a rest and then / knee issue. So how is it not injury related rest with a knee? I mean, boy, I tell you, I don't know what's going on here, man, but a couple of our guys here, and this is some serious people on this side. The majority of these people on this injury list are starters, so you're starting kicker, you're starting defensive end, you're starting safety, you're starting wide receivers, you're starting center, you're starting right tackle, you're starting linebacker. A lot of stuff going on with the Saints. And of course, we go down to Detroit. Alex Anzalone had a hand issue. He was DNP'd. And of course, that's really all they had. Jonah Jackson, the guard, limited. Running back David Montgomery, limited. Tracy Walker, the defensive back, was limited. Also, Melifonwu, who's also limited. Frank Ragnow, who was the center, had fully practiced dealing with back and toe issues. And quarterback Hendon Hooker, remember that guy that we was trying to push the Saints to sign? He's ultimately was limited in practice with a knee issue. So we will see golf in this game. So it'll be interesting. So a lot of people on the Saints injury list, and we'll just be monitoring that thing going into the season. Of course, you look at all the stuff that we dealing with in week 13 for the black and gold family. And we had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago where the Saints didn't have all these injuries, but now we reached the point in the season where you're starting to see them kind of collect and build. That makes it even more difficult for wins to happen. So people have to step up and make things shake and pop for the team. Also, some other news, the team reported today that the Saints did sign a defensive back, Jamar Jean-Charles, to the practice squad. And before people start talking about, man, didn't we have a dude named Stanley Jean-Baptiste? Yes, we did. And I think this guy is a little bit better, a lot better than Stanley Jean-Baptiste. If you watch some of the film on him, he's a pretty decent cornerback. Saints added him to the practice squad. Mickey Loomis announced it. And he's pronounced John Charles, 5'10", 184, originally a 5th-round draft pick from the Green Bay Packers in 21 out of Appalachian State. He's from the state of Florida, played in 25 games with the Packers from 21 to 22, and then with the Niners in 23, and had recorded 3 solo tackles, 12 special teams stops, and 5 games for the Niners in 23. He had posted 1 solo defensive stop and 3 coverage tackles. In college, John Charles played in 50 games with 25 starts, registered 97 tackles, 33 pass defense, 2 picks, and 2 fumbles, forced fumbles. So a 5'10" special teams player, and Shamar John Charles will join the black and gold team. And as you know, usually when they kind of add put that helmet right there, they must not have a picture of him to add to. It's usually how it goes, right? All right. Shout out to you, man. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate he says DA mixed the DA remixed the turn down for what song into just for what? Come on, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good right now. All right. They got a lot of work to do. All right. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
Say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, man. This is going to be interesting, man, to be honest with you, dealing with what the Saints got going on. So that's a bit of the news. Now let's kind of move into the next section of the show here. When we kind of play this interview right here, I'm going to try to play as much as I can stand from this interview from Mickey Loomis. That's right. Mickey Loomis, our favorite general manager, had something to say about the Saints losing. And in this interview, I was really hoping for Mickey Loomis to kind of shed some light on some of the issues in terms of him having discussions inside of the building with the head coach and telling him, listen, right now, this team is not heading in the proper direction. It's no longer all of this, belief stuff. We need action. But none of that happened. Instead, we got this. So let's go in it. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it, moving into it. Here goes. This is the Mickey Loomis interview. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Saints Hour. I'm Mike Hoss, and we are joined by Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. But let's talk about the news of the day, and that being Jari Evans, the assistant offensive line coach who was part of that 2006 draft class, one of 25 semifinalists for the NFL Hall of Fame. This is the second straight season for Jari. So let's just talk about first as a player, 11 straight seasons, 6 times Pro Bowl, and really, what kind of a player he was, for this football team.
Yeah, look, Jari's fantastic. He's fantastic human being. He's a great teammate, not a good one, a great teammate. Great representative of the New Orleans Saints. There was a stretch of time there, and we can argue about how long it was, but it was definitely a stretch where he was the best guard in the NFL and best guard in football, maybe the best offensive lineman in football for a period of time. He was a fantastic player, and it's well deserved that he's in this group, and I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
So he was drafted in the 4th round, 108th. So out of Bloomberg University, it's changed its name a little bit. It's a small town between Scranton and Harrisburg. So 107 picks before him. Tell me about the process about finding him, in Bloomsburg University.
Yeah, look, it was it's a product of good scouting by our area scout. Good job by Rick Ripery, who was a college director then. And then, Doug Marone went out, worked him out, loved him. So it was, it's the process that you expect. Area scout, national scout, coach, all getting a chance to get their eyes on them and go through the interview process and the evaluation process and coming to a conclusion that, he'd be a good asset for us. Obviously, if we thought he was going to be a future Hall of Famer, we'd have taken him earlier than the first round. But look, there's always questions, when it's a smaller school and the competition level is different than with the bigger schools. There's always that question of how's it going to translate? Because he was a dominant player at Bloomsburg and ended up being a dominant player for us almost right from the beginning.
And finally, just at least on Jari anyway, just feels like, some guys are made for coaching, some guys don't. It just feels like he, maybe, I know Zach in Denver now, but it just feels like Jari Evans is kind of has that mentality. He's gonna be a great coach.
Yeah, I believe so too. And look, he's really smart. He's very diligent, good worker. And he's got the advantage of, having been there and done that. And so when he talks to players about a technique or a fundamental, they know that he's speaking from experience in the NFL. So he's got all the qualities to be a great coach. And the most important thing is that it's something that he really wants to do.
So this team will be, as it has in the past a couple of times, we've talked about it. It's a tough loss, 24-15 in Atlanta. And so now it's how this team answers and how it faces adversity with still 6 games to go and everything to play for.
Yeah, look, it was very disappointing not to win in Atlanta. Particularly disappointing when you.
Let's stop it right there for a second before Mickey get going, man. Shout out to Jari and his congratulations on his move there, man. That's big. Jari Evans was always a serious player for us, man. Always stepped up. I wish we had a couple of Jari Evans right now on that offensive line. I promise you that much. Shout out to Brent for the super chat. Says that cheerleader I thought was drafting, but was an old lineman. Yeah, Loomis would have kept her. They would have enjoyed many a clam chowders or possum chowder. Possum chowder, like that some gun that's a head coach that looks like a nervous possum. That dude really looks like a possum, man. He really does. I was looking at a picture of a possum. I was like, man, if somebody makes a cartoon character You got Mickey Mouse Loomis. You got Dennis the possum. You got Pete Carmichael, who looks like you could put some whiskers on them. These people are very weird looking people, man. To be honest with you, these guys, it's a kind of a rodent theme here, man. You think it
I
brings
wanna say thank you very much for picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
yeah, we can get the clam chowder. Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, man, it's interesting. Let's get into it. Here's Mickey Loomis, man, about to talk Saints. Here we go.
Get into the red zone 5 times. We're also on their side of the 40-yard line and an additional time, and to only come away with 5 field goals is disappointing. And there's a lot of good things that are happening. Mike, you know how I am. I'm going to look at the things that are positive and understand how we can keep those going, and then look at the things that we're not doing well and try to figure out how can we improve in those areas. And there's a lot of things that we're doing well, but finishing off drives and scoring is not one of them.
And I guess really we've talked about the red zone situation.
And really, that's the big thing, right? Not scoring, not finishing off drives. 2-game losing streak, very difficult matchup against a Detroit team that has a lot going on. It's going to be very difficult, not impossible or improbable, but to some people it will be. I mean, to be honest with you, 0 for 5 in the red zone is ridiculous. And I don't get what they don't get. This is football. This is simple. You either make the move or you don't make the move. What's all of the cat and mouse games? What's the cat and mouse games for? You either make moves or you don't make moves. If you don't make moves, you won't win. This team doesn't have enough, and I'm not saying a talent, but it doesn't have enough of the intangible stuff. Like it doesn't have enough intestinal fortitude, enough intelligence or staying power, diligence, attention to detail, integrity. These things that you can't go to the store and buy. The team is lacking a lot of these things. No disrespect to the guys on the team, but you're not going to outperform your head coach. If you got a mediocre head coach that's on top of the team ultimately, the energy of the coach, because that's how it's set. The coach, his mindset dominates the team. So if you have a mediocre head coach with a mediocre mindset and principle, the team will be mediocre, no matter how talented they are, no matter how much money you send at them. If the coach doesn't improve, the team won't improve, because he would ultimately not know when to step in to make moves or not. And he doesn't do that. He had several opportunities to stop this from happening. Prior to the Minnesota game, the Saints were exhibiting inconsistencies throughout the offense already. Derek Carr was totally uncomfortable back there. We've seen the running game suffering now to the point where the running game at first was doing some positive stuff. Now the running game is totally inconsistent because the offensive linemen are inconsistent. We've seen McCoy in the Atlanta game. McCoy was more on the ground so much. I thought he was tending the grounds. I thought he was out there planting something. He was on the ground so much. So, I mean, it's like things have to change, man. And the only way things change in the building is you got to change some personnel around. And I'm talking about assistants. If you got to move Marone off the offensive line and put Jari Evans there, we're talking about what he did and how he's a Hall of Famer. We need to make that guy make him over the offensive line. Let's switch some stuff around here. Let's move Curry in at the play caller. But none of this is happening. And that's what we're saying. Do something different than stand before us with the same jargon, is what I'm saying. Let's go back to Mickey.
Situation before, but the difference clearly this week, turnovers in the red zone. Now, you got a turnover from them in the red zone, but I can't imagine that there's much from a momentum standpoint tougher than you're moving down in their red zone, looking to score and go up maybe 10-0, 7, whatever, right? But the pick six, I mean, that's a momentum shift of significance.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, their guy, their safety made a great play. And you can look and say, "Yeah, it was a mistake. The throw was a mistake." And I'm sure Derek would say it is. And yet at the same time, that guy just made a great play. And sometimes it happens. but we have to be able to bounce back from those kinds of things. And look, I thought we did. We had a chance. We had a couple chances to. We climbed back in the game. We had a number of chances to score other touchdowns and take control of the game, and just couldn't finish off drives. And it wasn't any one thing. It's a drop ball, or it's a penalty. Those are the kinds of things that keep you from finishing off drives. And look, we've made a habit of that in this season, and we've if we're going to accomplish the things we want to accomplish, we've got to get over that. And look, we have a history of doing that. I mean, we've had 17 years, I think it is, a string of.
Oops, let me stop you right there, Mickey, before you start prattling off about what happened prior to Dennis Allen being the head coach. Let's look over that for a second. Let's stick a pin in that right quick. The gloss over move by Derek Carr's pick six. He did mention the drop passes, the bad communication. He mentioned several things. It's a barrage of different negative things that impacted the team and them getting wins throughout this game and several others. See what Mickey is not getting, and maybe he need to get people around him to tell him this stuff, and maybe start listening to people outside of the building so you can get some fresh ideas. You know what fresh ideas are? That's not the stale stuff that's floating around your head about keeping this bull crap propaganda about trusting the team and all this. Let me just say this. The Saints are an undisciplined football team. Mickey Loomis just gave a buffet of BS and negative plays that's happening every game that stifle drives. That's a signal of an undisciplined football team. That's a signal of an unprepared team. That's a signal of an unprepared coach. That's a signal of a person or supposed to be head coach that's not paying attention to the details, that his team is coming out, dropping balls. Quarterback is inconsistent and erratic. Offensive line play is up and down. Pre-snap penalties are abundant. Holding, dumb stuff like that, low IQ plays throughout the game to penalize themselves. That's a sign of an undisciplined football team. That just didn't crop up this one game against the Atlanta Falcons. This has been happening all season long. 0-5 in the red zone, 5 field goals, 5 out of 6 field goals from your rookie kicker. That's an undisciplined football team that spent all that money on all that talent and couldn't even get a touchdown. This guy hasn't scored a touchdown in 6 quarters? The pick six alone was totally just an undisciplined, unfundamental play by an unfundamental, undisciplined quarterback. Staring guys down is wrong. Staring guys down and throwing pick six should get you benched, should get you set down. You look at the tape and you can see more than Jesse Bates made a great play. It was easy for Jesse Bates. All he had to do was read the big old eyes of Derek Carr staring the man down. And the truth of the matter is, if you look at the film, the ball was thrown slightly behind Rashid Shaheed and would have probably been intercepted by the other defensive back. One way or the other, that ball was getting picked because the ball was placed behind, not ahead, but behind Rashid Shaheed, where he had to reach back for it. While he was going forward, he had to reach back and into the body of the defensive back that was on Rashid Shaheed's back. So one way or the other, that ball was going to get picked. Jesse Bates jumped the route and ran to the house because he watched Carr, who couldn't throw it to Juwan Johnson across the middle because he was kiboshed in between 2 Atlanta Falcons defenders. So he slid his eyes, looked, and stared down. Didn't pump fake, freeze the safety or nothing. That'd be too smart to do, right? He just threw it right in there. The guy picks it off and runs it back for a pick six. Pick six, that basically beats you. Derek Carr can give 7 points to your adversaries, but can't give you 7 points. So, and then he talks about this, that, and third. Let me tell you something. Derek Carr is not the only reason, but he's a big reason why the team is not winning. They're not scoring any touchdowns, not from him anyway. That's a big problem. He touches the ball more than anybody. They can say the quarterback this, that, or third. Listen, if your quarterback stinks, and no disrespect to Carr, I actually like Carr, but Carr stinks, man. He stinks. His game is I told family members this. His game is predicated on confidence. He's not playing with any confidence, and people don't have confidence in him. And when you're making $150 million and you come in here and you look like this, you're gonna catch it, man. You're gonna catch it from the family members first, and then the national media next. You're gonna catch it because you don't deserve that money. You're not playing like $150 million quarterback. You don't deserve that money. You're not paying. You're not doing anything positive to help the team win. You're hurting the team. And to stand up there doing the press conference and kind of shmoo it off like, yeah, we're gonna get them the next time around. It's just distasteful, and almost shows me something's wrong upstairs when you sitting up there kind of pushing it off when you was the main reason why they lost the game. Your pick six was the deciding factor. The Saints defense, regardless or not, they allowed 220 plus yards running on them. They only allowed Atlanta to put 17 points on the board. That should have been enough. Your kicker gave you 15 points by itself. The defense held them to 17, but the pick six put them over the hump. He couldn't give you a touchdown, but he caught his points went against you. So let's go back to this.
17 years up through last year of being over 50% conversion rate in the TDs in the red zone. So, we have a history of success there, and look, we're calling a lot of the same plays, and we're just not finishing that off. We need to do that.
Recent attention to detail, Mickey. Contrast, man. Let's add some context to this. You're talking about years when Sean Payton was here. Sean Payton was actually a pretty decent coach. He was a pretty good coach. We can't you don't compare Sean Payton's offense to Dennis Allen's tenure to Dennis Allen's tenure. Sean Payton was a motivator. He was the one that really believed in discipline. Sean Payton didn't play that. Even Cam admitted that. He said he used to walk around on eggshells in the building because Sean Payton didn't. He demanded that. He knew that it took that kind of discipline to keep people in check. And he was really good at bringing people in from outside the building to motivate. Now, he got stale toward the back end of his career because he stayed longer than what he was supposed to. But in the end, you can't compare the two because it's not comparable. Dennis Allen simply doesn't have a resume where he would show you that he can take a team that is struggling and turn them around. The most wins he had in his career was last year, 7, and that's because the team that he had was actually a playoff team. That should have been a playoff team he had. It was better than the team talent-wise the year before. And he brung them down 2 wins and then finished them off at 7 and whatever it was. So it's not comparable here. So, I mean, once again, that's like it falls short in people thinking like, yeah, well, we're going to make it through. No. In order to make it through that, you can't sit up here and say, I guess you can, but we're not going to buy what you're saying because we know that in order for that to happen, change has to happen where they will have to show attributes that they're not showing right now. And they being the head coach, they being movements in his personnel. That means changing people around, giving them different roles to create a different effect with the team to see if they respond to that. None of that is happening. So how do you then could think in your mind just out of the blue that things will get better simply because they're going to keep doing it game week after week? It won't happen like that. It won't happen. You have to change things around inside the building to get a change on the field. I can't understand why these people can't get that.
And kind of the last question on Atlanta, which is just, I know it from Dennis Allen and his defensive background, the inability to kind of, or for other teams to run the ball on you, especially in the fourth quarter when you know they're going to run and they are able to kind of do so, just magnifies the frustration.
Yeah, look, defense gave up 17 points overall. I mean, that's a winning performance in terms of points. But is, given the kind of game it was, we needed to get a stop, particularly in the last 2 drives in the 4-minute offense, and it was disappointing not to do that.
We will take a break. We're talking with.
Hold on, stop the presses, Mickey. Stop the presses. We needed to get a stop in the last. What are you talking about, man? Your offense need to score touchdowns, bro. These people kicked 5 field goals. The man was 5 of 6. They were 0-5 in the red zones. Don't you dare open your mouth against the defense. The defense was doing everything he could do with a bullshit offense out there and a quarterback that's staring down people, throwing pick sixes. We needed to stop on defense for real, man. Why not say, and they're going to stay away from the car option. They're going to stay away from hitting them with the car, hitting them, giving them the car, like my brother Prime say about hitting them with the car facts. Not FAX, but FACTS, facts. And the fact of the matter is Carr stinks. He's staring people down. He gave you 0 touchdowns and gave a touchdown to your adversary, which ended up being a deciding factor in the game. This is not on the defense. The offense has to score points, and the offense gave you 0 points in the matchup. Whether it was Carr or Taysom Hill fumbling in the inside of the 10-yard line, this is ridiculous. We're not going to sit up here and languish the defense while Derek Carr sitting up there throwing pick sixes. Are you serious, bro? For real? What's wrong with these people, man?
Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. This is the Saints Hour. Back after this on the Community Coffee New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
We got to say it all, man, because they're not going to tell it. They're not going to tell the truth. They're just going to spin. It's just going to be nothing but spin. It's all spin. There was no reason where the defense, we needed another stop from the defense. How, if the offense scores a touchdown, one freaking touchdown, the Saints win the game. We do realize that, right? The Saints win a touchdown. If the offense scores one touchdown in the game, they beat the Falcons. Bottom line. But Carr is not scoring any touchdowns, hadn't scored any touchdowns, my recollection, the last 6 quarters. Everybody else doing it. But Taysom gets hit with the fumble. And it's the reality at the end of the day is that they're going to keep off Carr because Carr is he's the smoking gun, so to speak. He's the smoking gun. He is the thing that Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis are going to make excuses for. They're going to do everything they can to protect this dude because when Dennis Allen gets fired, and he will get fired, he will eventually get fired. He will get fired. He will make changes, but by the time he makes changes, it'll be too late to make an impact on the team in the season. That's why he doesn't need to be a head coach of anything. It takes vision. And I'm not languishing Dennis Allen or disparaging him. I'm just telling the truth. When the Saints were 7 and whatever they were last year, I was asking the question in the offseason, what did Dennis Allen learn? Did he learn anything at all? Because it's up to him. He has to learn to be a head coach. He was a coordinator. He didn't learn anything that I know. He still sounds the same. Now, he came in the season looking relaxed because he was able to get people who, them guys didn't really give a damn. I ain't gonna say they didn't give a damn, but it's a different respect level that you have for Dennis Allen as a head coach. If Sean Payton's your head coach, if Sean Payton brung you in here and you've seen the interworkings of Sean Payton's system or his administration, and then he leaves, and then Dennis Allen sits there, and you see Dennis Allen. It's a grand difference between the two because Dennis Allen don't run a tight ship. He doesn't run a tight ship. He doesn't. Guys screw up. He don't even penalize them. They can grab face masks, and hurt you in the game, and he don't even take them out of there. They can false start all in practice, and they don't even get on them for that. Nobody says nothing. And that's what Elvin said last year. He said guys were false starting and nobody said nothing. I was like, well, nobody's saying nothing. Cool. How you not saying nothing to guys having pre-snap penalties in practice? They don't say nothing during the game. They just keep it moving. How you do that? Are you supposed to be a disciplined head coach? Disciplined head coaches won't play that, man. They will sit you down. They will take you out of the game if you're not prepared to play and you're out there running around hurting the team. A.T. Perry should have been set down because he didn't know to play. He should have been taken out of the game, and he should have missed at least 2 or 3 plays. I put you in here. You need to handle your business. But that's a standing thing that was happening all season long. Guys having miscommunication issues. They're not prepared properly, even though the guy's saying during the week, we prepared, we had a good week of practice. How are you having all these great weeks of practices, but it's not translating on the field? And then they still refuse to change positions. They refuse to take a Carmichael out, put a Curry in just to see how it looks. Move guys out, set a Marone to the side and put Jari Evans in there. See how that works. Shift some things around, man. Make some moves, shake something up. Why don't you? But once again, they're involved in the spin. Let's get back.
Welcome back. This is the Saints Hour. Mike Hoss, along with Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. The Detroit Lions come to town. They've had their, mini bye, so to speak, but they'll come in kind of, at least, I know I listened to the Dan Campbell press conference. They had a tough loss Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, at home, Green Bay, and there were a lot of questions yesterday about Dan Campbell because you know him well. He was part of the 09 team, but he was injured. But certainly a coach for many years with this franchise. So,
all right, let me stop it right there. Shout out to Brent, man. Brent says winners can't be losers. Winners can't follow losers. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate
I want to
you.
say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Indeed, my man. Appreciate that, bro. You absolutely right, man. It just makes no sense. But here's Mickey.
Again, a person that personally.
Yeah, he's a fantastic coach. He's a fantastic person. Love being around him. And what he and his staff and Brett Holmes have done to elevate the Detroit Lions from a long period of tough years is fantastic. And they lost last Thursday, so at home, so they'll come in here angry and desperate, and we're gonna have to match that intensity.
And it was
And the reality is the Saints could have had an opportunity to get that, man. There was several other guys that's out there the Saints could have had that they passed up on. And then you see these guys the Saints passed up on come here, and they have they have impact against the Saints and wins. Brian Flores' Minnesota Vikings defense neutralized whatever the Saints were trying to do to help them beat the Saints several weeks ago. And then you see all these other guys that, the Doug Petersons and all these guys come here and beat this guy in the ground, take the team, and then it's nothing. So it's a laugh factory. But if Campbell can take the Detroit Lions, who wasn't winning anything in a long time, and turn them into a respectable team, imagine what he could have done for the Saints. Just saying. Here we go.
It's one of these processes where no team is immune. So the Lions had 464 yards of offense, so almost 500 yards of offense. They ran the ball well. They did well in the red zone, but they lose. And they had three fumbles, one of them being a sack fumble that ended up being a touchdown. Same kind of thing. It's not about, you can look at certain numbers and pull certain numbers away, and 3 turnovers where one of them is a touchdown. I don't care who you are, who you're playing. That's hard to overcome.
Yeah, it is. And but I would say this: look, they're very explosive. They've done a good job of overcoming turnovers. I mean, they're -5, I think, in the takeaway giveaway ratio, and yet they've got a darn good record. We're +6, and we have a losing record. That's really unusual. Again, because we haven't been able to turn those turnovers into touchdowns. And
now you're getting it. Why you can't turn them? Once you complete the statement, because you see that you're +6 there, which is that's unusual, and we're losing. That's unusual. It's not unusual if you complete the statement. You can't turn them into. You can't take the turnovers that the Saints give, the defense give the offense, and turn them into what? Touchdowns. Well, why is that? Because you have a Carmichael and Carr there, and they can't get it together. It's just really. Putting 1 or 2 together, but they know what time it is. But it's the reality that they don't want to spend the money. I keep going back to that. It's like they're going to sit here and spend. It's cheaper to spend it to you and get you to buy along for the next 6 games. That the Saints will come around and ultimately win these games, 1 game at a time. The offense right now is showing no life, and even if they are moving the ball periodically, not even consistently between the 20s, they're not getting in the end zone. They're turning the ball over. So I want to hear Mickey Loomis complete the statement by saying Carr and our Saints offense need to get on page, especially Carr. The pressure is on him. The pressure is on him. Complete the statement about your offense.
So, they're going to be a tough opponent. There's no question about it.
I was a little, I guess I follow whoever you're playing next. I couldn't tell you anything other than your next opponent. So I was a little, when the NFL rankings came out, they are the number 2 offense in the NFL behind only Miami, better than Philly, better than KC, better than Buffalo, better than a lot of teams. I mean, this, not always known for offense in Detroit, but they have done a really, really good job running the football and when Goff is on, throwing the ball as well.
Yeah, look, they've done a great job. And look, their defense is in the top 10. So
Yeah.
they've done a good job on both sides of the ball. Aaron Glenn over there is a defensive coordinator, and they've been able to turn that defense around the last couple of years and play complementary football. I know that's what Dan believes in, and that's what they're doing.
It is
Gotta be it's an indictment on Mickey Loomis, man. The Detroit Lions, we're gonna talk about how good their offense. We're gonna do a preview later on in the week, but just to touch on some stats for the family members who might not be aware of what the Detroit Lions look like from a stat perspective and rank perspective. Like Mike Hoss mentioned, the Saints average just under 21 points a game. That's tied for 18th in the NFL. That's not even middle of the pack. The Detroit Lions average almost 27 points a game. That's good for 7th ranked in the NFL. Total offense, they averaged over 405.5 per game. Total offense, over 405 yards a game. That's good for number 2. Saints offense, 347.1. That's 12th. The Detroit Lions rush at 137 yards per game. That's good for 6th in the NFL. Saints 104.4. That is 19th. Passing offense, 268.5 yards per contest. Good for 3. Number 3 in the NFL. 3rd. The Saints are 242.7 for 11th. Third down offense. They're ranked 11th in the NFL. And their percentage is almost 43%. The Saints rank 21st in third down offensive percentage. And they're 37th, 37 percent there for 21th in the NFL. Red zone efficiency, big one. This is the big one. This is the sticker. Red zone efficiency, 55.3, good for 14th, middle of the pack, basically. And the Saints are 42.5. That's 29th out of 32 teams in red zone efficiency. Ridiculous. The giveaways, 17 giveaways that rank 20th in the NFL. The Saints have given the ball away 14 times. That's tied for 12th. Moving to the defensive side, the Detroit Lions allow 23.5 points per game. That's 24th in the NFL. Saints 20.2. That's tied for 8th. Total defense altogether, what they're giving up from a yardage standpoint, 318.8. That's good for 10. Saints are 320.3. That's good for 12th. They give up only 91.3 yards rushing per game. That's top 5. The Saints allow 124 yards per game. That's for 23. And that could really be a lot of why their rushing attack look like what it does is because the scrambling quarterbacks impact a lot of that yardage. If you remove that out of there, it drops dramatically. So a lot of that giving up the 124 yards rushing a game is a lot of scrambling quarterback play that they don't know how to do anything with. Secondary wise, 227.5 is what they allow through the air. That's 20th ranked. The Saints 196.3. That's good for 7th. Third down defense percentage, 36.2 by the Lions. That's good for 11th. Tied for 11th. The Saints 35.6. That's 8th. Red zone efficiency, 68.6. That's good for 30th in the NFL for the Lions versus 54.8 by the Saints is 19th. Takeaways. Lions take the ball away. 12 takeaways. Tied for 26th in the NFL. The Saints have 20 takeaways and are tied 4th in the NFL with 20 takeaways. But yet the team is still not making it pop. So some information, a little statistic breakdown on the Lions just to let you know. And you can see Mickey wasn't very enthused about even talking about that, to be honest with you, bro. He kind of, went over it because Well, Mike Hall's talking about how good Detroit Lions offense and their team is. That's an indictment on the New Orleans Saints. There's no way in the world that the Saints should have the record that they have, and the Lions come up here. The Saints offense should be top 5 with all the money and the talent they have. Brent says Haas playing politics, like you said, Q. It's a good old boy system, job security. Right. Haas works for the Saints. So he gave him the softball question to start the broadcast off about Jari Evans. He gave him a softball. Yeah, Haas works for New Orleans. He's the radio man for them. He's the analyst, the play-by-play man. He works for the Saints, so he definitely will not ask any tough questions to Mickey Loomis. He dare not do that. But anyway, here we go.
Rarity, at least feels like it. It's a 3-game homestand. You had a 3-game road stand in 20.
Appreciate you, Brent. Thank you.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this.
2020 and 3 games on the road back to back in 2018. Now 2022 would have been 3 games at home, but the Minnesota game is in London, so I don't count that. So it's the first time since 2014 to have back to back at home, and it's one of the things I looked at on the schedule when it first came out. One was that you were on the road a ton early in the season, but these next 3 games at Caesars Superdome, almost irrespective of what you need to do, are just important, huge football games.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And look, we need to get on a string of wins. We need to stack some wins up, and we're going to need, it's good. First of all, it's good to be back in New Orleans playing a game. It'll certainly be good to be playing 3 in a row at home. And we need our fans to be loud and proud, and we've got to give them a reason to be cheering in the dome and make it loud and difficult on our opponents.
Need to take a break. We were speaking.
You damn right. You want y'all to be loud and proud. The question I have, Mickey, is what are we proud of? We can be loud. We sure can, but what are we being, what we being proud of? And being back in the home, back at home don't really guarantee you anything. The Saints are 2-2 at home. It's not like they're undefeated at home. They're 2-2 at home. So coming back to home don't really guarantee them anything. It's weird. Usually home turf means that you come home and then you're gonna play your ass off. But the Saints are 2-2 at home. They don't even use the confines of home to, to play better. They're 2-2 here. So it's not like, on the road, it's just the same garbage all over the place. So, loud and proud. Y'all heard Mickey Loomis. We want y'all to be loud and proud and represent. Be loud and proud. Proud of what?
Network. Welcome back, Mike Haas, here on the Saints Hour with Saints Executive Vice President and General Manager Mickey Loomis. And I know that you said when we started at the top of this show that, we can talk and about Atlanta till the cows come home, but it's about kind of focusing something on the positive. It's Tuesday already, so you guys have already turned your attention to Detroit anyway. One of the things I was kind of looking at has been Alvin Kamara running the ball of late. Now, in the last 2 games, he has not a ton of yards, yet he's averaging really about 4.7 yards the last 2 games. And that I feel like and that's just me, right? But close to really kind of having one of these breakout Alvin games that we've seen.
Yeah. Look, I think Alvin's played really well this year. I do. He was out for the suspension for a bit, but he's come back. He's been fantastic for us. Look, we get in a situation in this game where our top 3 receivers are down, and look, then Alvin and Jamal Williams and Taysom Hill, Juwan Johnson, they're going to have to carry the load in terms of playmaking for us. And so we've always relied on Alvin to make plays for us, and he continues to do that, and we expect that to continue as well.
And one of the things Coach Allen said,
which is, it's crazy because I talked about Alvin Kamara averaging almost 5 yards a rush the last couple of games, and the Saints simply don't know how to utilize Alvin Kamara. And listen, I told the family, I said, family, listen, And the Patreon special yesterday, I was like, family, these guys listening, man. We've been doing this for a long time, man. They wasn't using the fullback back like that at all for over the majority of this season. And I kept asking and just beating them across the head. Well, why do you guys have a fullback on this team that you don't use? You don't utilize the guy. We need to do something with the spot. That next game, the Atlanta Falcons game, Prentice got in there more than I've seen him ever in the Saints building. He was in there blocking and everything for him. He was doing a half-ass job of blocking because he just, 2 weeks back, and I wasn't expecting the fullback to flatten guys, blow up the spot, open up places for the running back to run. And I kept saying that if you're going to operate the power I, put the fullback in there and let him blast through there so that the running back can get to the second level, maybe make a move and get on. They put Prentice in there a lot. I was watching the film. I didn't realize how much Prentice was in there in the game, in the scheme. I didn't realize it. I was like, y'all listening, man. Y'all listening. You got that fullback there, and you got him on a roster. You're not even utilizing a guy, and Jimmy Graham is inactive. We could use Jimmy Graham in the red zone, especially 0-5 in the red zone. You would use Jimmy Graham in the red zone. You got to. Michael Thomas is hurt, and eventually he probably will because we got a lot of issues with our wide receivers. But did y'all see that too with Adam Prentice? They had him in there a lot. I didn't realize he was in there until I looked at the all 22. He was in there a lot, blocking for the running backs. I was like, y'all listening? That's a start, man. Utilize the damn fullback. Utilize him. Stop running Elvin out there naked so he can get blitzed or hit by these linebackers. Give him a fullback to run in front of him. Let the fullback open up some stuff for him so he can get to the next level, make it a little easier on him. But all right, Brent says straight vanilla chowder. Come on, man. Yeah, that offense, man, really is quite vanilla, man, what the Saints are doing, especially the Taysom Hill package, man. It is so predictable, it's ridiculous. I keep saying, man, can't we do something with it where he throws the ball at least twice a game? Kind of mix it up a little bit. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Right. And this is the part of the game when Mickey asked the question about, supporting the team, come out and be loud and proud. I'm like, dude, no, we're not doing that, because I was representing the Saints. I was talking the Saints up. I actually thought the Saints were going to win the game against the Atlanta Falcons. I really did. And I was like, man, they're going to come back. They're going to win this game, because I was looking at it and I was like, this is the type of stuff they do. They're up and down team. They shouldn't, by all accounts, they should have beat them. They should have beat the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons wasn't a tough team to beat. You just score one touchdown and you get it. But I didn't anticipate how garbage Derek Carr would be by throwing a pick six. I didn't see him throwing the pick six, but ultimately I should have seen him throwing the pick six, because he's been staring people down all damn season long, and sooner or later would have gotten him in trouble. Jesse Bates was just smart enough to read his eyes and make plays on him. And Jesse Bates was the one also that punched the ball loose on Taysom Hill. He was out there making plays and stops. He just had a phenomenal game, but Derek Carr didn't help him. Even Derek Carr even congratulated the dude in the middle of the damn game. Now you tell me if that's weird. You got a quarterback going up to the safety, and they asked him, hey man, what did you tell Jesse Bates? Y'all was talking. And I would have said, man, I was just talking mess to him. This dude said, man, I congratulated him on the interception in the middle of the damn game. Oh, did you also put money on the game too? I mean, damn. Who congratulates a guy that after he throws a pick six, and the pick six ultimately in the end defeats us? But he throws a pick six and then he tells the guy congratulations for getting a pick six on. Who does that? Who does that, man? That is so insane. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it, bro.
And I know we're not going to talk about the injury situation, only that we'll find out Wednesday, but that he feels no matter what, that the answers will come from in-house. I mean, I assume that's one of the reasons why the NFL is, one of the reasons. You've got the extended practice squad. So, whatever changes have to be made will be already there on Airline Drive.
Yeah. Look, that's exactly right. We have a large practice squad. And and you have contingencies for these situations. Typically, you don't have contingency when you lose a bunch of players at one position. Sometimes you may have to go outside, but for the most part, we have guys that can step in and fill a role when asked.
Brian Brzee, we've talked about him and his kind of adaptation and how he's kind of filling in, and he had another batted down pass defense to the line of scrimmage. He's got 6, I think, this year, which would be the most from any non-defensive back. I mean, it just feels like he's got a certain sense of timing for those.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a skill, and having a knack to do that. He's got that. I'd say he's done some good things for us. He's still developing. That's a position that generally is going to take a little time before you reach your potential, and yet I think he's done some really good things for us.
And Blake Grupe as well. I mean, again, you would have much rather had Blake Grupe, 5 of 6 or 5 of 5 on extra points and not 5 of 6 from field goals. But I mean, he certainly kept you in the game and was a 1-score game most of the time because of the way that he kicked.
Yeah.
Again, he was kicking those many field goals because Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen's expensive offense couldn't put a touchdown up. The guy went 5 for 6. I think that's actually a pretty damn good game. I think that's actually a pretty good game. He goes 5 for 6. Now, what's interesting is the quarterback can't do anything. So onus should be on getting Carr fixed by a certain period of time. And if he doesn't play, see, this is when timelines come into it. That's why I was like attention to detail. Because when you really start getting really intricate into timelines and what we need to do by this certain period of time, then there's a finality to it. Then there's pressure. Then there's a sense of urgency toward movement. Then things start shaking and moving because you don't feel as comfortable because you're not winning. And that's what the bosses do. They'll put pressure on you. If somebody that knows what the hell they're doing will not just sit there and watch you destroy yourself or do something that he should know that you can't do, that you've never exhibited, that you could do. So if you see the team struggling mightily, offensively speaking, and you yourself, you being Mickey Loomis, always the one that's talking about offensive trends and what offense did under Sean Payton, how they were top this, that, and the third, and how they looked and all this type of stuff. But you look at it. So how don't you see the differences between what Sean was doing versus what Pete Carmichael is doing? And you see the turnovers, you see the wins and losses happening, and you don't put in your mind that, man, I need to step in and do something about this. We got 6 games left. We lost to a team we should have beat. We got a team that's coming in here that is a top team in the NFL, offensively speaking. They get after you. They make things happen. This is one of the top teams in the NFC. If we lose this game, we'll be on a 3-game losing streak. And we can't afford to have that right now this late in the game. We need to change some things again. None of that. None of that at all. That's why people are not buying the BS, man. They're not buying the BS. Group A did a phenomenal job in the game. 5 of 6 for a rookie kicker, to the point where his groin, he didn't hurt his groin, kicking all them damn field goals. But Carr's still out there. His pick 6 didn't get him out of there.
No, yeah, except for the last one, he nailed them
Right.
all. They were tough, number of tough kicks in there. He's a very talented, young player. And look, we're excited about him. We're excited about him for now, and we're excited about him for the future.
I was curious when you look at when they break kickers' stats down, they do like 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and 15 above, and it feels like, this is just me, that kickers will make their living in that 40 to 49 range. NFL teams expect you to make 40 and in. I don't know that you maybe lose your job 50 plus, but man, your world is in that 40 to 49 range. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that.
Softball question,
because you're expecting, you're really expecting, all those kicks to be made, which is probably a bit unrealistic, but yeah, that's what you expect. You recognize that once you get past 50, that's a little harder swing. You're hitting with a driver and not not an 8-iron, and obviously you're going to be less accurate that way.
And equally as impressive, his kickoffs. I mean, Cordell Patterson brought a couple back. One, probably if he were sitting in this room with us, no one would believe, he's an NFL kicker, but that he's gone through that his whole life. But I mean, his ability on kickoffs to
the way the rules operate this, in this NFL day. And look, Cordell is typically a guy that'll bring it out from anywhere in the end zone. And they chose, I think part of their game plan was to be really selective in what they brought out from the end zone. So, but the answer to your question is that Blake's done a great job kicking off, and he's got one of the higher ratios of touchbacks and kickoffs in our league.
I know it's a tough week out there. I don't know, but you've got, is part of your job like the keep people focused on the task at hand, and I'm not saying keep people's chin up and but kind of focus on the future a little bit. I'm just trying to get a sense of they're tough times, but it is what it is.
Well, I think it's in any industry, any business, part of leadership is, look, when things aren't going well, you can't just be negative. There's enough negative noise out there. We don't need to be negative. Not a lot of people get inspired by negativity. So, part of our job is to focus on the positive, focus on what we're doing well, accentuate that, and not sweep the things that we aren't doing well under the rug, but attack them and improve in those areas. And I believe with all my heart, we got the right people in the building. I know
this dude is out of his mind, man. You can put him and the guy running the country in the same box, man. This is ridiculous. We got the right guy running. He got to go too. Mickey, you got to go, man. You got to go. It's a lot of negative noise out there. A lot of negative noise. These people really do think like this. A lot of negative noise. You stink. Your team stinks. Your offense stinks. Your $150 million quarterback who stares down wide receivers and throws pick sixes stink. Your defense is getting old, and it's a lot of slippage involved. They can't even stop the rushing quarterback. It is quite obvious. All of the adversaries, all the people that we're playing and running on the Saints. It's been a disaster. We were beating a team 17-0, and the team came back in 11 minutes and beat the Saints 18-17. Negative noise. There would not be negative noise if your pathetic ass team was doing what they were supposed to be. And then guess what? A negative noise. He's talking about people like me and you that is saying that we're not going to support this team as long as they continue to do what they're doing. And that he got to go. He's a problem. He got to go, man. There's no way in the world that you're that blind and that ignorant to who Dennis Allen is, man. Absolutely not. This dude is completely, he done lost it, man. All right, Brent says most of the kicks Group A has are harder than the throws Carr is missing. They're playing possum in reverse, not alive, playing dead. Dead playing alive. Come on, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Thank you, Brent. The man said they got the right people in the building. Let me play that again, because maybe I misheard what Mickey Loomis. He said a mouthful. He didn't, and listen, he didn't say the things that I want to hear or you want to hear, which is we're going to make changes with the offensive coordinator. We're going to change it up. We're going to change it up. We're going to put on the top of the team. We're going to move in there. We're going to put Ronald Curry in there. And we're going to put him in there. And Pete's just going to have to sit down. And, that's what we're going to do. Trying to change it up. I would say, Dennis, you're going to have to watch yourself, and Mike, I appreciate you with these softball ass questions, I'm old, I
I don't want the hearty. I don't want the toughies. Don't give me the toughies because, I let Big Q up in here. He'll throw the toughies. I don't want to deal with that. I won't. We'll do it. I just want to get back to my clam chowder and my orange juice and just be happy. That's when I collect my money. And I'm about to retire. I have to get too old for this shit. Pardon my French. I'm just saying. That's why I like you, Mike. I hired you because you're good at the softball questions. I appreciate that. I take it easy. Oh wow. And just listen, we got the right guy in the building. I am telling you, Dennis Allen, man, he's a great coach. And I knew I made the right decision. We brought Dennis in and I said, Dennis, the team's yours. And I told him, I reassured him. I said, listen, I won't stand over you. I'll let you run the team the way you want to. And I'll tell you, just listen, I'm going to keep that negative noise away from you. It's a lot of negative noise out there. We're going to just stay positive, even though there's nothing to stay positive about the Saints offense. Well, that's not true, Q. We got a kicker that went 5 for 6. That's positive. Yeah, but about the offense went 0 for 5 in a row. Well, that's a part of the game. You going to say anything negative about Derek Carr? Yeah, well, we told Derek, he got all that eyeliner in there. We can't keep all that stuff. He's going to keep it in his own car. We ain't got limited but we all right though. It's just unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable what this guy is talking about. This guy's out of his mind. Mickey done lost it, man. He done lost
on the future a little bit. I'm just trying to get a sense of, they're tough times, but it is what it is.
Well, I think it's in any industry, any business, part of leadership is, look, when things aren't going well, you can't just be negative. There's enough negative noise out there. We don't need to be negative. Not a lot of people get inspired by negativity.
You don't get inspired by positivity. Let's keep it $1.15, Mickey. You're not getting inspired. They call it negativity because you're not agreeing with what they're doing and you're challenging it, and they see that as negative. Well, we don't get inspired by negativity, Q. No. It's not negativity because the people don't agree with what you're doing. Maybe you need to change your approach and start listening to what they're saying. Because what they're saying, you're interpreting it as negativity, and it's not negativity. And even went to as far as to say noise, like it's bothersome. Like you are bothering him to tell him that his team stinks and that he made the wrong decision at the head coach level. Even though you see the ship about to hit the iceberg with him, he has blinders on. But it's not only negative, but it's noise. Listen to the words that Mickey says. It's negative and it's noise, which is bothersome. It's a problem. So if I'm not chiding and saying the same stuff that Mickey's saying, like give Dennis Allen patience, give Derek Carr patience, which I'm more than willing to give Derek Carr, to be patient with Derek Carr, because perhaps a Ronald Curry can get more out of Carr than a Pete Carmichael could. Maybe there's a communication issue there where Pete Carmichael is not reaching him. Perhaps Curry could reach Carr and help him play better. Maybe he could talk to him the way he needs to, but we'll never know that unless he makes the change, or at least put pressure on Dennis Allen, Mickey Loomis, before you start saying that people out there is negative noise. And see, I told you they're listening to you. They're listening, but they don't want you to interfere. See, it's an economic component, and I always bring it back to that. It's an economic component. It's a reason why that the team don't want to tell you. They didn't divulge the basics of what Dennis Allen's contract is, how much he's getting paid, and what's the length on it. People can only guesstimate on the length and the amount of the dollar of the contract. They don't know for certain how long the contract is or how much it costs. They can't go and give you solid evidence that can show you exactly what it is. They're using guesstimations. well, it's 3 to 4 years between such and such, such and such. If it was an average NFL salary, I keep saying this, if it's an average NFL salary or contract for Dennis Allen, then why would you need to hold it from you? They're holding it from you and not telling you what it is, because if they did tell you and you found out what it was, it's probably above average contract they gave Dennis Allen. He don't deserve the money, just like Carr doesn't. That's why they're keeping it from you. So we don't know how much Dennis Allen is getting paid or what's the length of the contract. We don't know because they're holding it from you. They don't want to disclose that to you. That's number one. Number two is, and when we start demanding Dennis Allen to be fired, the Saints are going to take a look at the money and say, well, we'll have to pay him such and such, such and such to get him up out of here. And really, we don't want to do that because, number one, you're going to have to fire him, settle with him, and then hire another coach to come in here and clean up his mess. And you gave him the quarterback that he wanted, and that is expensive because you can't get from up under that contract right now, and nobody's going to take him. And plus, he has a no trade clause on there where he can decide on where he wants to go. So it's all the Saints, for the most part, are stuck with Carr right now, but not with Dennis Allen. But this dude is so delusional that he thinks that he has the right guy in the building. It's totally ridiculous. We'll finish this up. Michael says, if we were so noisy and bothersome, how about we stop spending money? Our money not noisy, is it? That's what I'm saying. That's what we need to do. You see what I'm saying? You see how these people have been built up to a point where they feel like they can just do whatever they want and thumb their nose at you? How arrogant and boastful is this guy that tells you, because he's talking about people like me and you. You realize that, right? Not only are you negative, but you're also noisy. And we don't need that. We don't need negative noise. We don't need that. We don't need that at all. We need positive noise. We need positive stuff. People. And what's positive, Mickey? Well, positive is the people that agree with us and allow us to do what we want to do and keep bringing your money. That's positive. Yeah, that's positive, Mickey, for you. But that's not positive for us. That's not positive for us to watch a funky looking football team every Sunday go out there and disgrace us. And then on top of that, I have to put on, and that probably be Thursday, because I ordered it. It's supposed to arrive Thursday. So I'm going to probably have to go on the Falcons broadcast and do a show where I'm wearing a Falcon memorabilia. I'm wearing their merch, the Falcon people merch. Me, I'm going to put on a Falcon jersey or whatever it is to support, because I supported Mickey Loomis and the Saints, because I dared pick them to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Now I have to stand up here and put some Falcon merch on and say rise up and all this kind of stuff, because I dared supported the Saints and said that the Saints were going to win. You see what you get for supporting this team, and this guy sit up here calling you negative noise. It's crazy, man. Mike, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that, bro.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this.
Negative noise. That's a hot one, Mickey. We don't need the negative noise. Brent says necessity is the mother of all inventions. They don't see any need to reinvent anything on a team or their system. Sure don't. How could you see it when this man, how could they actually see? They don't even see it's a problem. You see how this is a problem? This is a problem when the people running the team are so blind and so ignorant that they don't, and they calling you negative noise for telling them that this is bullshit, man. This is well below our standard of what we expect the team to be, what it look like. After 10 weeks, the team was 5-5. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They're about to be on a 3-game losing streak because they haven't changed anything. And what you expect them to do? They can't compete offensively with the Detroit Lions who will mop them the F up, Brian. Come on. They can't score with them in the defense. My goodness, man. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you, bro.
I'm trying to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this.
Crazy, man. Crazy people, man. Crazy folks. This guy said negative noise, man. Let's get back into it, fam. Let me get back to him. Let him finish him up so we can get on up out of here. Here we go. Now, I probably ain't gonna even work now. Oh, let me refresh it, man. It done messed up Mickey. Mickey's bullshit interview done messed it up.
Good evening, everyone.
All right.
Out for the suspension for a bit, but he's come back. He's been fantastic. That's a position that generally is going to take a little time before you reach your potential, and yet I think he's done some really good things for us.
And Blake Groupie as well. I mean, again, you would have much rather had.
Look, when things aren't going well, you can't just be negative. There's enough negative noise out there. We don't need to be negative. Not a lot of people get inspired by negativity. So, part of our job is to focus on the positive, focus on what we're doing well, accentuate that, and not sweep the things that we aren't doing well under the rug, but attack them and improve in those areas. And I believe with all my heart, we got the right people in the building. I know we do. There's too many other things that are good signs. I mean, we're 12th in the league on offense.
Bruh. Dude, come on. Man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, bro. One more time.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
This dude said that he believed in his heart. He brought his heart into this. That he got the best people in the best people in the building. I really believe that. He got the best people in the building. This dude really said that. Negative noise and what they do best. What do they do best? Not score touchdowns, be inconsistent, do a bunch of pre-snap penalties, drop passes, communication issues. What do you do best offensively? Seriously, what the hell do they do best? Let me hear the rest of this.
I believe with all my heart we got the right people in the building. I know we do. There's too many other things that are good signs. I mean, we're 12th in the league on offense. We just had a game where we had 444 yards. We had 5 trips into the red zone.
0 touchdowns. 0-5 in the red zone. 0-5 in the red zone. 0-5 in the red zone. What the hell are you talking about? 0-5 in the damn red zone. 0 offensive touchdowns in the entire game. How is this a good? How is any of this making sense?
We're in the top 10 in our league in trips to into the red zone. So
this dude actually talking about the red zone. The trips to the red zone, and you're not scoring anything in the red zone. Let me share a stat with you on that, because he wants to talk stats in the red zone. The Saints offense, third down efficiency, the Saints are ranked 21st in the NFL. Red zone efficiency, they're 29th. Why don't you hear why don't he say that shit?
So it's hard to score if you're not getting into the scoring area. We're getting into the scoring area. And historically, we've done a good job in that area for lots of different reasons, lots of different variables. We're not doing that as well this year, and yet I think we can.
How do you go historical? That's Sean Payton. Sean Payton's not here anymore. We're not talking about history, bro. We talking about right now. You can't draw from nothing right now to tell me exactly how you're going to fix the red zone issues. They've been stinking in the red zone the entire year, and it's not getting any better. Coming off of the bye week after the Minnesota loss, they had an ample amount of time to make changes to the offense. They got up there on the press conference and said that the time off was really big. We were able to find out what worked, what didn't work, who was messing up, who didn't, and we was able to fix a lot of stuff. And then the game happened against Atlanta, and they look worse than the Minnesota game. So what are we talking about here? What are you drawing on this? It's a bunch of spinning, a bunch of BS. It's BS, man. And this is excuse. That's why he got to go too.
I think defensively we've had a number of games that we've played really, really well. We've had a few games that we haven't played as well, and yet one thing we have continued to do different than past years is we've taken the ball away. I think we're at, if I recall, we're at 14 interceptions. I mean that's a fantastic number. We've got, we're +6 as I said in the takeaway turnover ratio.
Don't mean a hill of shit if you're not scoring touchdowns off the takeaways. Saints had 2 turnovers in the Atlanta Falcons game, could not convert them to touchdowns to mean anything. You only needed 1 touchdown. So once again, your stat prattling goes off in deaf ears. And this is prattling. This is a method, that a technique that Mickey Loomis always does when he deflects into something else, as opposed to dealing with what needs to happen. And I've been listening to Mickey Loomis for years. I know all of their little tricks and their little techniques. He likes to deflect off into stats to try to run you off, or not run you off, kind of distract you, or run you into a rabbit hole somewhere when you're supposed to be focusing on why his bullshit offense in Dennis Allen over the top of the team is not working. He believes in all my heart that we got the right people here, all my sweet little heart. I really do think we have the right people here. But okay, why? How do you? They're not showing anything. The team is not responding to Dennis Allen. The team is not playing correctly. The team is not even winning. They don't have any consistency to them. They're 5-6. They are currently on a 2-game losing streak. They've lost to teams that's not even playoff teams. What are you talking about? See, but this is the stubbornness. That's why the Who Dat Nation is undefeated, bro. Bottom line.
Sure, that there's a lot of winning football being played, and yet
by who? By who? Who's playing winning football? Who you talking about?
We're doing some things that keep us from winning.
Right.
And so we've got to focus on that and correct it.
Just talking all kind of circles. You're playing a lot of winning football, but some stuff that's in there that's stopping us from winning football. Yeah, just keep talking in circles like that, bro. And that whole little spiel, the little fake stat prattling that you just did, just fell on deaf ears because it didn't take us anywhere. The problem is still right here, and it's still Dennis Allen having no leadership over the team, and the team is woefully underperforming. $150 million quarterback is staring people down, throwing pick sixes. He doesn't look over the film. I mean, he doesn't look over the field. He doesn't progress through his full progression plate. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it, and it's not even mentioned by the general manager, who's supposed to know better, and the dumbass head coach who's supposed to know better. What about Pete Carmichael? Do anybody out there in the Saints building, I'm serious, do any of you coaches that operate at around the quarterback coach, which is Curry, or Pete Carmichael, any of you assistants out there, do you guys, I'm talking at you right now, because obviously Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen don't know what they're doing. I'm asking these assistant coaches, do you see what Carr is doing? Do you see that he's not going through his full progressions? Do you see that he's staring people down? Do you see that? You have to see it because it's on the goddamn film. It's on the same film. We studying the same film that you studying. And it is quite evident on the film that he is not going through full progression. He either looks, I keep saying the same thing because he does the same shit. It either looks left to center. He never goes left to right or right to left. It's always left to center. And when he does go left to right, on the 7 or 8 times a game that he actually does that, he'll make a decent pass. He'll complete, maybe out of those several times that he do it, he'll probably complete 3 or 4 passes off of that. When he does it, the offense looks different when he goes through progressions. Do any of you coaches out there see that happening? Because if you don't see that, then you don't need to be a coach. I'm seriously. You need to go find something else to do. If you studying the film and you seeing what's wrong with Derek Carr, and it's so perplexing in your head that you don't know what's going on with Derek Carr, and I'm sitting up here as a podcast, I'm sitting up here looking at the game, telling you this man not cycling through his progressions consistently every play. Some plays, not all of them, are plays where he knows right exactly where he's going to throw to as soon as he fires out the route. But a lot of these other plays, he's given options on where to throw the ball, and he never progresses through the full plate. He always goes either left to center or right to center, never progress through the plate and then make the play. He never does that. He stares guys down. And if these guys see, and the problem is, the reason why I'm asking them that is because if they can't see that, and if they don't see it, maybe he doesn't know, that man know, but if they don't see it to fix it, then he will keep doing it because he's not going to fix it, because he probably don't know what he's doing. He been doing this shit. And you think, well, I've been doing this for years. I've been getting away with it. My strong arm to be able to fire through a tight window. No, man. And then, of course, he dealing with injuries where his effectiveness and that he don't have that full strength on his arm where he probably could at times get out of trouble because he'll dart the ball in a tight window and get away with it. Now he don't have that strong zip on the ball like he usually would have because he's still banged up with that shoulder. So he don't have that same zip and people can get on the ball now. So, I mean, listen, man, if you guys don't see that, then you guys need to be fired for real. You don't need to be anybody's quarterback coach or anything dealing with a coach in terms of a quarterback if you don't see that that guy is doing that. And not only see it, but get on him and make him stop doing it. If you want him to be around here, you have to fix that because that's a big problem, man. That's a major part of why that offense is not working, why guys are getting frustrated. You put that tape on and you see him look to the left, never looks back to the right, and to the right, they got a wide receiver streaking down the field, one-on-one matchup. You have the single high safety, which Jesse Bates, they had several times in the Atlanta Falcon game where Bates was playing the center field. They had wide receivers to the right. If he wanted to place the ball to give him an opportunity, they had guys there. Carr never seen him because he never looked in that direction. That's the problem with not going through the full progression. You're missing targets. That's why guys are out there running full speed and he don't even see them running. And they get tired of that shit. I'm out here running full speed and this motherfucker don't even look at me. How you know, Derek, I was open. My bad, my man. I'm bad, man. You know what you know how he says, oh, you know, sorry, man. I was looking out, I was just looking over to the left, I was kind of hungry, guy over there in the first row had some popcorn. I was like, I was thinking about, popcorn, want to give me a bag of popcorn. And, so, maybe I call over there, see if I can get him to bring me some popcorn, No, man, it's just crazy, man. But seriously, if you're a coach and you don't see that that's what the quarterback is doing, you need to be fired, bro, for real. Because we need people that's attention to detail. That is attention to detail, not this BS that makes you talk.
And finally, this is week 13. This is the My Cause, My Cleats. It started back in 2016. You've got like 20 players. I mean, it's not, they're all have different foundations, some Special Olympics.
That's it, man. I don't want to hear no more from Mickey. Dude, that's insane. That just showed you, that interview right there just showed you Mickey Loomis is not going to help us. He's not going to help us change this around. That Mickey Loomis interview showed you that Mickey Loomis is not an ally to the Who Dat Nation, because the people asking, where's the general manager at while the coach is obviously in over his head? Well, guess what? The general manager's sitting up here watching the guy fall apart, and he won't even interfere. He won't even step in and say, you know what, Dennis, give him a nudge and say, Dennis, just for the hell of it, just for the hell of it, change the make Ronald Curry your play caller for this week. Let's just see how to do. And Dennis Allen would do it. He doesn't want to get in between that. He doesn't want to interfere. He thinks that Dennis Allen and his staff is the right people for the job. And he said in his heart. What heart got to do with this, bro? What heart got to do with this? Is a business, man. This ain't got nothing to do with your heart. This is about results, and you're not getting results. We want results. That's the bottom line. We don't want your heart talk and all your senseless stat prattling that goes nowhere. We want results. We want changes to be made on the field. And Mickey Loomis is not going to help you. So if Mickey Loomis is the highest it climbs in the gate and he's not going to help you, prepare for a rough season, fam. Prepare for a rough season. Dennis Allen will not pull this team out of the muck and mire because he refuses to change the areas of the team that needs to be changed. He refuses to do it. And why he won't do it? Because he's over his head. He don't know what he's doing, okay? That's the bottom line. He doesn't. Isn't it obvious now? Isn't it clear? The product on the field, isn't it obvious? I mean, for real. It's clear and obvious. So here we go. Let's go to this guy. So we stuck with these guys. Look at, he's smiling like he's 6-0. Yeah, we smile. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's good. Life is good. $150 million. He's smiling like good. Life is good. Like it's all good. Let's hear from him.
About that area of the field. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we spend our time. in the building talking about. That's why we spent extra time on it this week. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't change. I always tell you the truth. We're moving the ball down there. If we don't, have the 2 turnovers or the penalties, we're running good plays and we're moving the ball. We don't have a problem moving it, but when we get down there, we've had games where we've done really well and we've had games where it's been really bad. And so I think the biggest thing is the inconsistency. It's not that we can't do it. It's just, why is it inconsistent? And we have answers. Everyone wants to hear the answers, but we just don't. We keep them in-house.
I know.
He got the answers, but they got them in-house. That means you don't have any answers. If you got answers to the questions on why the offense is stinking, but you're not going to tell the media, you're going to keep your answers in-house, you don't have any answers. There is no need for you to not tell the reporters what the answers are to the question. The answer is they don't have any answers. You see the BS did you hear that BS that the car just spilled out? Did you hear that BS? Let me run it back for you. Boy, the BS machine is on full blast today for the Saints, man. It's on full blast today for the New Orleans Saints, man. It really is. Listen to this line of crack.
Can't do it. It's just, why is it inconsistent? And we have answers. Everyone wants to hear the answers, but we just don't. So we're running good plays and we're moving the ball. We don't have a problem moving it, but when we get down there, we've had games where we've done really well and we've had games where it's been really bad. And so I think the biggest thing is the inconsistency. It's not that we can't do it. It's just, why is it inconsistent? And we have answers. Everyone wants to hear the answers, but we just don't. We keep them in-house.
I know you hate.
They keep the answers in-house on why the Saints offense is bad. I need y'all to make me understand that it's late as hell, man. It's 1 o'clock. And I should be asleep right now. And I'm trying to figure out what these crazy ass people are talking about. What answers? What answers? The inconsistent offense, that's not a secret. It's not a state secret that requires me to sign a non-disclosure agreement so I don't tell you about why our offense stinks. No, your offense stinks because you stink, sir. You are the main issue to why the Saints offense stink. You don't progress through your progressions. You stare guys down. You don't know how to scramble without fumbling. It's a ton of things, and the answers, we keep the answers in-house. For real, that means you don't have any answers because we already have the answers. We have the answers. Oh, what a large bunch of crap that was, man. Did y'all hear that spew? We keep the answers in-house. Man, these people are so full of it, man. They so full of it. We keep the answers in-house. Seriously?
Statistics and stuff like this, but I mean, there are some stats over the last couple of years where you're like ranked 36 out of 36 quarterbacks inside the 15. I mean, you might think that doesn't tell the whole story, but when you see things like that, does it like keep you awake? Like, this shouldn't make sense. Why can't I fix this one area of my game?
No, because this is a team game, and I don't see things like that because I don't pay attention to things like that, and so.
Wow. Did you hear what this clown said? Did you hear what this clown said? Mike Triplett. I'm going to make an award for Mike Triplett, man. I'm going to send Mike Triplett an award, man. He asked the best questions. This dude told him, you know what? I'm going to play it again, and then I'm going to react to it. Mike Triplett asked him some really good questions about what's going on with the offense, and listen to what his response was.
You might think that doesn't tell the whole story, but when you see things like that, does it like keep you awake? Like, this shouldn't make sense. Why can't I fix this one area of my game?
No, because this is a team game, and I don't see things like that because I don't pay attention to things like that, and so. It's something that we're working on, and everyone wants an answer or has an answer for us. But we're going to keep working on it in here.
That dude just told you That the shit that you doing, I'm gonna just give it in the big Q speech, okay? I'm gonna take Triplet's well-defined word and I'm gonna just translate it to gritty, raw, diehard black and gold street man talk for the Who Dat Nation. Mike Triplet just asked Derek Carr that basically the type of shit that you've been doing on the field with this team, you shouldn't be able to sleep at night. It got to keep you up at night for this type of stuff to be happening. And you know what Carr told him? No, it doesn't. No, because I don't think that way. It's a team game, which basically means that no, it's not on me. It's a team game. And basically it ties into no accountability. That's what it is. Because that was an easy out for Carr to take and say, you know what, Mike, you're right. It's on me. I'm the quarterback. I'm the leader of the team. And I'm throwing pick sixes. I was directly responsible for why the Saints lost the game. The defense held the Falcons to 17 points. The special teams put up 15 effing points. And I gave a pick six that ultimately decided the win-loss, the win for the Atlanta Falcons, because I made a dumb decision to throw the pick six. I was directly the reason why we lost the Falcons matchup. Did you hear that? You didn't hear anything. Nope, because it's a team game, because it's all about misdirecting, deflecting away from what it is. And then he points to the back of the banner like it's in-house and like everybody has the answers. And he talking about you and me and all that, the people that they say they don't listen to, the pressure. And we got the answers we're going to listen to. We got the answers in the building. You don't have any answers if you standing up here and the reporters are giving you an easy out and they're telling you that you should be really not feeling good or standing up here smiling. It's pretty much how you standing up here smiling. Because when he started, I'm like, this dude is a little too happy. You go on a 2-game losing streak and you stand up here smiling and bantering and swaying back and forth like it's all good. It's not all good. His body language is all wrong. Well, you know, we got the answers. We got the answers in the building. And then I guarantee you, when we come out against the Detroit game, he gonna stank it up in that game too. He gonna stank it up in that game too. They don't have the answers. This is pure bravado and BS, man. This is pure BS by Mickey Loomis and Derek Carr. Prepare yourself for the next 6 games, family. This is the train wreck in slow motion in front of you. You got a blind general manager that's past his prime. You got a head coach that's way over his head. He don't know what he's doing. And you got a quarterback who refuses, a quarterback who is error-filled, staring people down, not unconfident, not going through his progressions, totally unfundamental, totally inconsistent. Don't know what he's doing, sitting up here telling you that they got the answers in the building when we know you lying. You don't have no answers in that building. If you did, you would have used them already if you had them. And if you had the answers, you would tell the media, because whatever you're going to tell them ain't nothing that our adversaries can't come up with, or that I or you can't come up with. We know what it is. But see, the mere fact that he refuses to take accountability, he understands that he is the problem on the field.
Is there something that makes it harder to play quarterback?
No.
Besides the obvious tight space in that area?
No. It takes all 11 guys doing the right thing at the same time, and that's it.
Play quarterback?
No.
Besides the obvious tight space?
Wants an answer or has an answer for us, but we're going to keep working on it.
Is there something that makes it harder to play quarterback?
No.
Besides the obvious tight space in that area?
No. It takes all 11 guys doing the right thing at the same time, and that's it.
How do you evaluate?
See, Carr, now let me tell you something. This is BS, because Carr is full of shit. I'm going to tell you why. Carr sits up there and he gives you nothing but word salad. He'll stand up there and he'll go into spills about him face messaging Rashid Shaheed, and I make jokes about it. I go into 2 or 3 minute jokey sections about what Carr says. When I'll start talking about butterflies and me sending pictures of it, and I use his verbiage. But notice how quick and sharp his answers is. Like, nope, it's not none of that. It's such and such. And Triplet knows what it is. Triplet is pointing in the direction of the quarterback. He's doing it very smartly and meticulous. And Carr It refuses. It takes all 11 guys working together at the same time to get it. And when are you doing it? 11 guys, the quarterback leads the offense. The quarterback is basically the leader of the team. If the quarterback is not handling his business, the team more than likely won't be a good team. He has to handle his business. And he's not handling his business. And I don't like this petulant BS playoff type, this discard whatever good question line like they got the answer. This fake bullshit bravado like they have the answer already and you gonna see. No, bro. Y'all prepare yourselves for a long season. These next 6 games is about to be brutal, man. It's about to be brutal. These people are not even serious about finding the answer. These people are not serious about finding the answer to fix this goddamn team. They are not serious. Y'all prepare yourself for a brutal 6 games. A brutal 6 games. These people are not prepared to do what's supposed to be done. They're not even taking the correct stance and changing from what they're doing. They're taking a BS bullshit stand like they got the answers, and we know you don't. We know you lying. We know you are lying. You don't have any answers. The reporters know it. The supporters know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. You don't have any answers, Carr. And Triplett is aiming the questions at the quarterback position without even saying them. He knows what he's trying to do. That's why he's being sharp with Triplett. He don't really usually talk like this. He doesn't talk like this. He's usually giving you a bunch of word salad. Notice how quick and sharp his answers is because he knows Triplett's trying to get him to be accountable, and he refuses to be accountable. Prepare yourself for a long next 6 games, fam. Brent says Carcass does not care about the team. The only way he can be is he's delusional. He ain't delusional, bro. He's taking that money. He's taking that money, and boy, it's about to get real hot and heavy for them, boy. It's about to get real hot and heavy on this team. Then I'm gonna just call it out right now. Get ready for Dennis Allen to get fired. Get ready for Mickey Loomis. Some serious changes about to happen in the Who Dat Nation, fam. Coming up soon. It's gonna take about 5 these next 6 games because the Saints are about to get destroyed. For real. It's about to get real ugly. When a quarterback we know you don't have any answers. Dennis Allen don't have any answers. Pete Carmichael don't have any answers. And the reason why they don't have any answers because the answers involve telling Carr things that need to change about his game. But as you can tell, his mentality is there's nothing wrong with me. We got to all work together as a team when he's the main issue. Now, we know we have offensive issues with the offensive line run blocking, but they've been doing a decent enough job to give him time to throw the ball, and he's simply not doing it. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Brent, for this. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Thank you, bro. He said, do they all have equal pay? Let me tell you, bro, this is ridiculous, man. Mickey Loomis he's not going to force change in the building. He's going to sit on this. He's going to smash his ass and let Dennis Allen run this team into the ground. He's going to sit back and smash his ass. He told you while the team is 5-6 on a 2-game losing streak, that offense is terrible. He's still chiding statistics about this, that, and the third, and talking about the red zone and red zone statistics. And the Saints stink in the red zone. They're a bottom 5 team in the NFL, but he's talking about statistics or how we moving the ball up the field. But you can't score in the red zone. You're talking about turnover stats that the Saints offense can't even capitalize off. He doesn't have a foot to stand on. He's not going to help. Dennis Allen is not going to change. And Derek Carr is in a state of delusion. Well, he's taking your money. He's stealing the money right now. And he don't see anything wrong with his game. It's an offensive problem in his mind. No accountability. And as long as that happening, man, he's standing up there blaming it on the offense as a whole, and he's not going to take responsibility. Why should he take responsibility? There's nobody else in the goddamn Saints organization that's taking responsibility for what this team looks like right now. Mickey Loomis is not taking any responsibility. Dennis Allen is. So why the fuck did Derek Carr should? He's just following right along with these mummies. Let's finish this up, man, because I'm starting to get peeved about this, man. This is ridiculous, man, to hear this clown stand up here and talk about it's a team thing, and he's the main one that's responsible for the loss in the Atlanta Falcon game with the pick six.
How you play so far this year?
We're 5-6 as a team, and that is what I based everything on. And so, for me, that's the only thing that matters. And so, to give myself a grade, like, really doesn't matter. If anyone else wants to give me a grade, it really doesn't matter. We know what we've seen on tape. We know, what my grade is when I get my sheet from my coaches, and if I'm doing my job or if I'm not doing my job, and that's the stuff that matters.
What is the grade?
I mean, that's why we keep them in-house, and that's why we do those things. The coaches can tell you. I don't have any problem with them telling you how I've been doing, but I don't put their business, I don't put our business, team business out like that.
You said you guid got the answers for the red zone. Like, what's it going to take to see it consistently on the field? If you don't want to share what it is, what's it take to see it?
I said that we're working on the answers. That's what we've been doing, and so.
No, you lying bastard. You said that you had the answers. We got the answers in the building. Now that they press, the press presses him on it, he changes, he moves the goalposts. It's just, you see what I'm saying? You just press these liars a little bit and the story changes. And credit to the media people that's actually focusing on that. And let me tell you something, they're not fools. They know what time it is. They know that you're lying. This man's standing up here lying to these people, and they know he's lying, and they pressing him. They say, what would you give? What kind of grade? And don't give it. It don't matter what they say. As long as my coaches give me a grade, bro, that's what are you in preschool right now? Who says that? You stink. He knows he stinks. What would the grade? Give myself a grade, doesn't matter. When they give me a grade, I look at the sheet. What grade they giving you? Well, that's in-house. So you mean it's a state secret for you to tell me what the grade is for what the coach is telling you what you're doing? Well, let me tell you what your grade is. Your grade is F for failure, F for fool, F for folly, F for freeloader. And a couple of really heavy-handed F's that I can hit you with, but we're going to leave that alone. But boy, this dude's sitting up here lying his ass off. And when they press on him, says, you said you got the answers inside. No, I said we was working on them, stuttering his ass off. No, you're lying, SOB. You said you had the answers. That's why we record these things. You had them in-house, and you wasn't going to share them because they in-house, like it's a state secret. Crazy.
With them telling you how I've been doing, but I don't put their business, I don't put our business, team business out like that.
You said you guys got the answers for the red zone. Like, what's it going to take to see it consistently on the field? If you don't want to share what it is, what's it take to see it?
I said that we're working on the answers. That's what we've been doing, and so I appreciate everyone wanting to have us to just say everything we've been feeling and say everything that we've seen on tape and say all the coaching points and all those things, but I'll never do that. And so I know it's just on me to keep doing it. And for whoever they want to point at, please point at me because I can handle it.
No, you can't. You can't handle it. You can't even be accountable. Look at his face and his body language. Standing up here with this fake confidence, which no, you can't handle the truth. You can't. You're weak. You're a coward because only a weak coward runs from the truth. You're a coward and you're a liar. The people press you and said you got the answers inside the building. No. I said we was working on it. No, you said that you had the answers in the building. You said it a few minutes before you then changed the answer and tried to move the goalposts. Now you're running, and the people asking you because they asking questions about the quarterback position. Then he slides the conversation. Say, well, you can throw it at me, whatever. I can take it. No, you can't, bro. You can't. And I can tell by looking at your face, this fake confidence there, is that you don't deserve the $150 million the Saints are paying you. You don't deserve it because you haven't earned it. You haven't earned it. You haven't done one damn thing down here that makes you $150 million quarterback. You've been outplayed by people coming in scoring touchdowns the last several drives, the last 6 quarters. People have Jameis scored 2 touchdowns. Taysom's he doing his thing, but in terms of Derek Carr can't get you in the end zone. So we spending $150 million $50 million on a quarterback that can't get you in the red zone, that can't get you from the red zone into the end zone. You spend all that money for some son of a gun that get you from 20 to 20, but you can't score. You got to use your rookie kicker to get field goals. This is ridiculous, man. For him to stand up here like this and do this it's so easy just to take accountability. Only a lying coward like Carr would stand up here and deflect and run away like this. And the media knows they got a bunny rabbit running around. They know it's bunny. They know it's hunting season. They know what time it is. They know this dude is lying. It's like, for real. Those guys know what time it is, man. They know you lying. That's why listen to their line of questioning. They know you're lying. And then you ultimately give yourself up and say, well, you saying I'm the problem. If they saying I'm the problem, go ahead. I can take it. You know you're the problem. But they're trying to give you an opportunity to take responsibility, in which he won't do it, which makes him a coward. He's not worthy to lead anybody anywhere if you can't take accountability. Don't throw your team in front of it. You stand in front of it and take the arrows yourself. That's what leaders do. Only cowards run like this guy is running. This is a shame, man. This is a shame. This is utterly ridiculous.
Derek, what's the just initial impressions of this Lions defense going into this Sunday?
Well, they're really good. They play hard. They got really good front. Really, really good front.
I don't want to hear no more. I'm done with this dude, man. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. This is awful. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm pissed, man. This is terrible. This is all awful. We got Mickey Loomis sitting on his ass talking about Dennis Allen. He really do believes he picked the right people. The team 5-6 on a 2-game losing streak. Offense in the toilet. One of the worst red zone teams. Bottom 5 in the NFL in red zone, and red zone efficiency. But you got the right people. In my heart of hearts, I really believe we got the right people. And it's just he won't help us. Then this guy sitting up here lying, running from responsibility, running from accountability, lying to the media, telling them we got the answers for with our offense in the building, then lies and tell the people, yeah, I said we was working on it. No. You said you had them in the building. This is just get ready, fam. Prepare yourself for a long season. Anytime you have a general manager who refused to put pressure on a head coach who obviously we know don't know what he doing to make changes to an offense that is struggling to move the ball into the end zone. They have not scored touchdowns like they supposed to, especially over the last several games. I myself has 6 quarters since Derek Carr scored a touchdown. 6 quarters. I think it's a little more than that, but I'm saying just from my personal recollection, it's 6 quarters since he put the ball in the end zone. $150 million. Then they ask him about it. He throws the team in front of him. And it's 11. I don't look at it like that. You having problems sleeping at night? Being at the team, it's like, no, I don't think about it because it's all about a team. Don't give a damn. Then sit up here with this fake bravado like it's not impacting the movie. You can look at it and obviously see, bro, you're not built like that. We can see you have very thin skin, bro. And it's definitely impacting you. And you haven't felt anything yet. Let me tell you something, man. The only way out of this thing is taking accountability. At least you can salvage some respect and some integrity. This dude has no integrity, man. Anytime he's the quarterback making $150 million, the offense is his, the guide, and he throwing everybody in there at all. Nobody touches the ball more than he does. You can't blame everybody else for the poor decision-making and the miscommunications with the wide receivers and all this foolishness. It's in your hands to change. But nobody's going to follow rather some lying, non-accountable dude who's want to throw you ahead of put y'all out ahead of him, like he did Rashid Shaheed. The same thing. You got to watch Carr. He got backstabby ways like his boss Dennis Allen. He could throw Chris Olave in the crossfires. He could throw fuss and say certain guys didn't make the right moves supposed to be making. But when he throws pick sixes that directly cost the Saints the game, and then the man asks him how he feel. Well, I don't think about it. It's a team thing. What the fuck the team got to do with it? You threw the pick six. You did it. Let me get on and get up out of here, man. This is very concerning, man. This is terrible. Prepare, and I'm telling who that nation, man. Prepare yourselves, man, for some crap, man. Prepare yourselves for a long season. These dudes are totally inept. All three of them. All three of them. They have zero vision. They don't know what they're doing, and they won't take responsibility for what they created or what they're doing. None of them. None of them. So with that being said, I'm going to get out on that, man. I'm done. That's best that I can do. That's all I got, man. I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. This is a travesty, man. This is an outright travesty. Too much negative noise out there. We got negative noise, Mickey, running around saying that you guys and me and others, because we telling the truth about the team, is negative, and then this noise on top of it. We need to focus on positivity or positive, which is things that agree with him. That's what's positive. Derek Carr running around here lying to the press about telling them they got the answers for what to fix the offense in the red zone in the building. And then they ask him, oh, well, that's we keeping that in-house. Like that's a state secret. Lying, and then when they press him, he changes the story. And Dennis Allen, that's totally out of his mind. Totally incompetent as a head coach. Prepare yourselves for a long season, fam. The rest of the way. 6 games. 6 games remaining. I don't even see him winning at least 2 games. It's ridiculous. This is awful, man. Anyway, let me get on up out of here, man. I'm going to holler at y'all on the Thursday stream. I'm going to pop back up. Let me get some rest. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love to y'all, man. And shout out to the Who Dat Nation. Much love. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Phelps. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Something spooky, out to phone. I'm just jumping in
That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com.